Bev's movie log. Wait a second, it doesn't add up. Bev's movie log, tape 6, date June 27th, 1980. Airplane review. No, your eyes are fine. Yes, this is the right journal. No, I'm not Kurt, and yes, he's okay. Unfortunately, Kurt couldn't be with us today. He's jamming with his heavy metal band called Neon Chainsaw. They have an important gig coming up, so, you know, practice makes perfect. In a series of circumstances and decisions, the following phone call took place. Ring-a-ling, who's that? You may speak now. Carl?
Hey babe, I have a problem.
I'm not surprised. What now?
I won't be able to film a tape. Could you cover for me?
I don't know. I'm a busy girl.
Please, I'll take you to the movies.
Double feature?
What? Okay, fine.
So now Kurt can drum some drums, I have 2 flicks to check, and y'all have a new host for today. Airplane is a spoof movie, and spoof, also known as parody, is a subgenre of comedy. There are lots of comedy subgenres such as slapstick, sitcom, gross out, satire, black comedy, spoof, and more. But spoof is so unique that A, it deserves to be an independent genre, and B, you'll know one when you'll see one. Long story short, spoof is a genre that makes fun of everything, starting with other movies and genres and all the way to race and religion. It can only go 2 ways. You either have a blast with it or you think it's a piece of shit. One way or another, you gotta be prepared, man. And now a couple of words about comedy. Comedy is hard. Compare these 2 jokes, for example. Joke number 1. What's red and bad for your teeth? A brick. Not funny. Now, joke number 2. I'll never forget my granddad's last words to me just before he died. Are you still holding the letter? Also not funny. I told you comedy is hard. It takes real talent to write and execute funny material. And let's not forget that comedy is subjective as well, which makes it even harder. Was this flick funny? Let's figure it out. And we should start with the idea. Being a good representative of spoof genre, Airplane mocks lots of things. If you put 2 and 2 together, you'll come to a conclusion that Airport franchise is gonna be our first stop. More specifically, Airport from 1970. Airport 1975 from 1974 for some reason, Airport 77 from 1977, and the Concorde Airport 79 from 1979. Kill me. Digging deeper, we'll unearth resemblances with Jaws from 1975. See and listen the opening scene. Saturday Night Fever from 1977. See How They Met scene with Staying Alive by Bee Gees as a soundtrack. And of course 0 Hour from 1957. See, well, the entire film. From which Airplane... Okay, I'm not gonna shout it anymore. From which Airplane borrows the plot and the main characters. Personally, I find movies that take place at the airport or on an aircraft highly engaging. Puns! Ha! Saviors of a universe! It's a good field for horror, suspense, or comedy. The only downside about Airplane is that I haven't seen anything I mentioned but Jaws. But that's a small negative that's not gonna ruin anything, cause this film is jam-packed with comedy. Moving on to the plot, and from here on it's gonna be a spoiler zone. Kinda. I don't think this film can be spoiled, but whatever, you've been warned. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your stewardess speaking. We've arrived to make fun of you, Will. Thank you for choosing Mockery Airlines and have a nice stay. This film is a non-stop gag fest that races with a speed of 6 jokes per minute. Considering its 80+ minute runtime, it delivers approximately 500 jokes, and that's a lot of jokes. More importantly, they're f***ing hilarious. Kurt was spitting food all over the place, literally. What kind of jokes are we talking about? All kinds. There's written ones. The magazine stand at the airport has a section called Whacking Material.
There's verbal ones.
A man picks his ear and other man tells him, "Get that finger out of your ear, you don't know where that finger's been." There's visual ones. A man's reflection comes out of the mirror at some point. There's background ones. People looking at radar screens while a person in the background opens the screen as a dryer door and picks up his clothes. There's puns, slapstick, one-liners, caricatures, and tons of black comedy. Speaking of dark humor, this movie goes all the way. It's not a family-friendly one, like at all. Potentially, it could be offensive for anyone. There's swearing, raunch, drug use, violence, and suicides. Punching faces, throwing infants, 12-year-old Girl Scouts fighting in a bar. But thanks to clever writing and nice pacing, we have a comedy juggernaut now. It's time to talk about the acting. I don't have much to say about it, but I'll say this. The entire cast did an amazing job delivering their lines with such seriousness you'll find in an Oscar drama. Looks like I picked the wrong weeks to quit amphetamines. But no one stood out as much as a man from the north. I'm talking about Leslie Nielsen, of course. Patience, patience, subway stations. My point is, he shows up halfway through. I was really surprised because A, I never read the titles, and B, I always thought of him as a dramatic actor. And let me tell you, Leslie has a lot of potential in comedy genre. Next up is the visuals. Not much gonna be said here either. It's a professionally shot film, but nothing I haven't seen before. The movie sets are believable and never break the illusion. The special effects are good, but not outstanding. The editing makes it look like a cartoon sometimes, but that's the beauty of spoof movies. Visual averageness is not this genre's problem. I've seen better looking comedies, so it is what it is. We are finally at the X Factor. Unfortunately, there is no X Factor. And now it's time to do the math. It gets 2 out of 2 for idea, the latest role model of airborne comedy. It gets 2 out of 2 for plot, 90% of jokes land perfectly.
Puns!
Ha! It gets 1 out of 2 for acting, hilariously serious while seriously hilarious. It gets 1 out of 2 for visuals, average looks don't make this film less funny. And it gets 0 out of 2 for X Factor, some have, some don't. Overall it gets 6 out of 10, which is not bad at all. So that's it. In the end, I wanna say brace yourselves. You're gonna hear a lot of quotes from this film in the next few years, at least. Even the critics loved it. Critics loved the spoof film? What? I'd recommend it to everyone who needs a mood fix, but don't forget that anyone could get offended. So to no one, but to everybody. So yeah, here's my review. Later! By the way, stay till the end. There's gonna be a post-credits scene. Weird, right?